Time now for Sid Sixero. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about stuff. So, start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. I've seen some incredible highs during my time watching the Raptors. I've also seen some demoralizing lows, more lows than highs, actually. But few things compared to what transpired a few nights ago in Game 3 against Philadelphia. The Raptors had the game. They had it. Only to have Joel Embiid take it away from them in OT. That one stung, and it's a result Raptors head coach Nick Nurse is going to remember for a very long time.
That's about as tough a loss as I can remember here for my time. Obviously, if we pull that thing out, we got ourselves a series, and instead you got yourself a really, really deep hole to dig out of.
It's a massive hole they have to dig out of. No team in NBA history has come back from 3-0 down to win a best of 7. Game 4 happens tomorrow afternoon at Scotiabank Arena, 2 p.m. Eastern. You can see it live on Sportsnet. Just don't get swept. Please, don't get swept. The fan base is just back in the arena. Eric Smith from Sportsnet 590, The Fan, radio voice of the Raptors, joining us. I believe this is very symbolic to not have this happen in front of that crowd. The crowd's been through too much. The Raptors have been through too much. It's been a disaster on both ends, very unfair on a lot of levels. I just do not want to see this sweep tomorrow.
I hear you, Sid, and I don't think anybody wants to see the sweep, especially after the way you laid it out, the way this team has battled through 100% capacity, 50% capacity, nobody in the building. The year last year in Tampa, the season that the Raptors had overall, Sid, I don't think that anybody anticipated that this is where they would be standing right now with the dust settling after 3 games and down 3-0. I think if you're looking for any reason to be optimistic going into Saturday's game, I would look at Game 3, and I'm not trying to paint the rosiest of picture, but I'm trying to paint a realistic picture. The game plan, the blueprint worked. It not only worked for the entire first half with the way that they played Joel Embiid, but even in the second half with Embiid going off, with Maxey still having a solid game, with James Harden playing his best game of the series, Philadelphia didn't have a lead until overtime, in spite of the struggles of Fred VanVleet. And more so, Pascal Siakam scoreless in the second half. Toronto was still there, Sid. So they lost the game. At the end of the day, they got to wear that. They got to own that. But I still think there were a lot of good things that Toronto did in that Game 3, to the point where I would say, don't completely split atoms and change everything and upset the apple cart. Go with that same game plan. Do what was working, but simply execute and finish. And that should put you in position to at least force a game back in Game 5 on Monday in Philly.
Eric, in terms of the Raptors' big boys here, Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam, I have found the reaction, specifically online and in the media over the last 24 hours or so, pretty interesting in that, first off, I think people are forgetting Fred VanVleet probably shouldn't be out there with that knee. He's got a bad knee. He's had a bad knee for the back end of the season, okay? So I'm going to give Fred a pass for a lot of reasons. The almost hesitancy by some in our business, Eric, to lay criticism on Pascal Siakam is fascinating. Because we know Pascal's been through it here, right? He's been open about mental health issues. He went through what he had to deal with online after the bubble performance was ridiculously horrific. But some people do not want to just go there with him in terms of not scoring a point in the second half in OT in the most important game of the season. Where are you on that?
I think I'm at probably the same place that Pascal would be at, in acknowledging he needs to be better. He needs to be better in Game 4. I think he was good in Games 1 and 2. I think he was incredible in the regular season. I think that when the awards get announced in the next couple of weeks here, he should be, and I'd be shocked if he isn't, All-NBA. Whether it's first, second, or third team, he's an All-NBA player. He's among the elite of the elite, and as such, I think he would even acknowledge, I didn't anticipate being scoreless in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and overtime. And in order for my team to be better, I need to be better. I'd be shocked if he didn't admit that privately or publicly. And it's not to rail on him. He simply needs to be better. And as a result, if he's better, the Raptors will be better. I don't think that that's critical. I think that's just honest.
Here. I'm with you 100%. His performance tomorrow will be one of the most interesting things to me in a moment where no one's feeling good. You find out a lot about people competitively. And I think we're going to find out a lot tomorrow because there's still a lot to play for this Raptors team, in my opinion. Eric, enjoy the game tomorrow. Again, it's on Sportsnet. Coverage begins at 1:30. Appreciate you, man. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks, Sid.
Never a dull moment for the Raptors. Fascinating team. All right, we're going to take another break here on BT.